In this video, I'm going to show you how to place restrictions on your child's iPad. Let's get started. Restricting an iPad is a three-step process. First, we'll need to delete any unwanted or distracting app. Second, we'll turn the messages off. And then the third, we need to set screen time restrictions with a passcode. The first thing that you're going to need to do is delete any app that you feel is causing an issue or that is being distracting for your child. So you'll need to get your child's iPad and then search the home screen, keeping in mind that likely there's multiple pages and multiple home screens that you'll have to browse through on the iPad, just like I'm doing. Also keep in mind that some of the apps may be organized into folders like this one, and then within each folder you may have multiple pages that you might have to scroll through as well. So when you find an app that you feel is causing an issue, you're going to want to delete it, and you do that by taking one finger and doing a long press on that app. So just pressing and holding on that app. When you let go, you'll receive a menu that looks like this, and you merely want to press on delete an app and then go ahead and confirm that. And then you can just repeat those steps for any app that you, again, feel that is causing an issue. If you feel that messages are causing an issue, you can turn those off by going into Settings, finding Messages here on the left-hand side, and then toggling this switch off like that. Again, that's not mandatory, but if you feel that messages are causing an issue, you can go ahead and turn that off. Our third and final step will be to set screen time restrictions and protect those restrictions with a passcode. So once again, we will need to launch the Settings app, and then on the left-hand side, find Screen Time. And the first thing that we want to do in Screen Time is select Use Screen Time Passcode. I'm going to pause right here for a second, because when you enter this location, you might see a message that says Change Screen Time Passcode. If you see that, that means a passcode has already been set on Screen Time. And one thing to keep in mind is that sometimes students will do this to try to prevent us from placing restrictions on the iPad. If you see that, you can contact the school or contact me, Mr. Barnaby, and we can actually remove those passcodes remotely. So in this case, a passcode has not been set yet, so I want to go ahead and click on that and then set a 4-digit passcode that I'm going to keep secret. After this pop-up is asking us to enter an Apple ID for recovery. This is not necessary. So when you have this screen, I would recommend tapping Cancel and then just confirming that you want to skip setting up a recovery password. Again, if we ever need to remove that passcode, we can do that remotely. Just contact us at the school. So the next step is we will go into Content and Privacy Restrictions. If Content and Privacy Restrictions, if that's not turned on, make sure you click on that switch. You might have to enter the passcode and then turn that on like that. First thing is going into iTunes and App Store purchases. In here, what we want to do is don't allow installing apps. So what that will do is prevent access to the App Store, and then we require passcode. We want to say always require. Even though your child does not have access to the App Store, he or she can still download apps through the self-service app. So any apps that are needed for school are not downloaded from the App Store. It's from self-service. And placing these restrictions will not restrict access to self-service. They will still have access to get the apps that they need for school. So after that, we want to go into Content Restrictions. And then under Game Center, Multiplayer Games, we again want to not allow that. If you feel that games are causing an issue, this is kind of not allowing access to the built-in games that are on the iPad. Okay, so after that, we can go back. And one last thing to do is down here at the bottom under Allow Changes, we want to go into Account Changes and then select Don't Allow. So if you did place, if you did turn off messages because you felt that was being distracting, checking this will disable them from turning messages back on, basically. So that kind of concludes what we need to do to set some basic restrictions. If you feel that you need something more than this, feel free to call the school and we can talk about some other options. But this will at least restrict your child's access to the App Store as well as to messages. Thank you and have a great day.